Well, hey there, folks. How's it going? 4 o'clock. We're switching it up with you. By the way, John Duffin, Duffin Media, Duffin Coaching. Welcome, welcome, welcome to a late day PM edition, late drive, if you will. Hold on. I said that all wrong. PM late day drive. It was an old day part in radio, but PM drive. That's what I'm trying to say. How about all of that to get there? Can we do a do-over? Anyway, John Duffin here, Duffin Media, Duffin Coaching. Welcome back to another episode of JD's KILLA Conversations. These are killer business conversations that will work with you, whether it is personal conversations, business conversations. Because it's late in the day today, where I wanted to head, folks, is simply this. What I'm looking at is energy, being able to utilize, harness, and optimize your energy so that when you are speaking, you're able to engage, hold, keep the audience there until it's time for you to get all of the salient points out. And look, as it gets late in the day, sometimes that's easier for people or harder for people. My job, 3 tips that you can walk away from if you have one more business conversation today. Well, then perhaps you'll be able to utilize this energy to sound more naturally authentic with an energy that makes sense and that is not canned or forced. By the way, if you're watching me on Facebook Live, we welcome you. LinkedIn Live, yeah. YouTube Live, thrilled to have you as well. And look, folks, if you were joining me live, type in live, drop it in the comments. I see Facebook and LinkedIn comments. I don't see YouTube comments, at least not yet. Drop it in the comments. I'll know that you're here. If you're watching on the replay, that's great too. We're thrilled to have you. But because it's also late in the day, I wanted to just get right to it, right? So, while I call this the love connection, I'm tying this into energy today. It's what I call the 3-way connect. Think about an electrical socket with 3 connections. All of this ties to delivery, speaking, and it really ties into energy. So here's the number 1 tip. I want you to remember the following, which it is your responsibility to be able to connect to your audience. 1 or more people, whether it's 1 person or thousands. Number 2, it is your responsibility to be personally connected to your content. Number 3, it is your responsibility to bring the audience to that content so that they don't have to go find the connection on their own, right? So picture plugging in 3 outlets. All of them are your responsibility. And if you don't plug them all in, the light doesn't work, okay? Your voice is that conduit, but you can help yourself. The reminder is that your connection either guides somebody to or away from the material and away from you. So my whole deal is authenticity. How can you sound naturally engaged, enthusiastic, and credible, right? So here's what you don't have to necessarily do. Forcibly rev up the engine. Hey, everybody, let's talk about it. Absolutely can push people away because it doesn't feel what? Right. It doesn't feel true. All of this is about being your best, most authentic voice. Energy is palpable. People can feel it. And by the way, the old adage, if they don't feel something, they're not going to do something. You make decisions often based on how you feel. So you want them to feel something, right? So I'm going to give you an example. So today specifically, I've been on the phone pretty much all day today. And that's good news, phone and Zoom. That's not bad. I'm not saying that. So I don't know about you, but I'll ask, and if you're here, feel free to respond. Are you able to sustain your energy consistently all day long? I'm not. I'm not. I would be lying to you if I said that. So here's things that you could do, right? You could, for instance, Slam another cup of coffee down your throat. I've already been accused of drinking too much coffee, and they're probably right, not just today, in general. They're probably right, and it doesn't help, okay? You can limit yourself to a number of calls that you take or make a day, right? Preserve your energy, so to speak. But you might pull yourself away from business opportunities. Let me give you a really specific example of how you can help yourself. So remember the following. Remember this three-way connection. Yeah, I call it a love connection, but I want to talk about it as it relates to your energy, okay? Say you have to deliver a sales call, whether it's over the phone or on Zoom or better yet in person, so that you can feel the interaction and energy, okay? Not every sales call is created equal. Not every client and or audience member is created equal, and the material is not always equal. Say you have to deliver a technical presentation. Late in the day, you've got to deliver this. It's the 4 o'clock meeting. I've had a bunch of them in my career, still do, by the way. Having one right now, as a matter of fact. How many have you been a part of? If you are here and you manage a team, lead a team, are responsible for teams, give me a high sign. Drop the note in the comments. Give me a heads up. I would love to know that, because this really impacts you too, okay? You're sending your teams out to convey your message, your mission statement, generate revenue, cultivate relationships. You have to know that they're feeling something and not just simply reading things out loud. So, tip number 2. First, number 1 tip, you are responsible for all of these connections. Tip number 2, here's how, right? So, as I added, you are responsible to connect with the audience, right? So, there must be a reason. And an audience is 1 or 1,000 or 10,000 or anywhere in the middle. What makes you feel good about speaking to that client or this presentation opportunity, this proposal opportunity? Say you're speaking to an audience, and I've done that too. What makes you feel good about the situation? Here's the clue. Make it personal. You don't have to say the words. You have to feel the feeling. What makes this personal? So, for instance, I remember, rather than pressure myself, I got to go close this. That's not what I mean. A client brings me in, a client and or a group of clients bring me in. I'm mostly flattered that they are bringing me in. I've had great relationships throughout my career. I'm lucky that I still do. You want to remember something personal that connects you. You do not have to be equally vested or invested with every single member of the conference room, audience, but you should have an emotional connection with one. Somebody invited you, somebody included you, someone is allowing you to be there to give you an opportunity. You can feel good about that. Did you earn the opportunity? Are you excited for the fact that, oh my God, I get to present to so-and-so? Remember those key words? Now, those words are for you. I get to present to so-and-so. I get to lead a meeting today at 10 after 4 on a Thursday afternoon. That excites me. Even if I want to take it back to, oh my God, there was a time when I didn't control the times of the meetings. I just literally had to be ready at someone else's whim. I get the privilege now that I get to speak to people, and I get to speak to people in a way that I want to speak to people about things that matter to me. That's an absolute privilege. I feel really grateful for that. Right? I'm grateful that I am healthy, that I get to speak, and that just drives the energy to me, right? So me being connected to the audience, the client, whoever invited me, absolutely makes me feel great. I don't take that for granted. Close to 30 years in terms of media career, presentation career, business career, executive coaching career. I don't take that for granted. I get the opportunity to do this. Well, that makes me feel good. I'm remembering that when I'm speaking now. I don't have to articulate the words. I know I just did. But for you, the clue, the tip, a little bit of gratitude goes a long way. If you're lucky enough to get the chance to pitch, present, speak, feel good about it. Feel lucky that you get this chance. Feel lucky that they extended this time to you. They got a million other things they could be doing. They brought you in. They included you. Feel great. And carry that, and your energy is natural and real, okay? When you do that, the energy is natural and real, and people will hear it and feel it, and you won't have to worry about, oh God, where's my coffee? Oh my God. You won't, all right? So there's your next tip. A little bit of gratitude goes a long way. Natural, real, authentic gratitude, okay? Now, the next thing. If you are pitching, presenting, if you're a realtor and you're doing your listing presentation, I want you to list your home with me. Or I'm, again, came from broadcast, streaming, digital advertising, sales. I want you to work with me. I want you to work with the opportunities that we have. It is really important that you are somehow connected personally. Connected to the content. It's up to you. We're never reading things out loud. You want to suck all the air out of the room? Read a lot of data out loud. Who's been part of a presentation where they are reading summary sheets, and then they're after reading the summary sheet, this is what we're going to cover today. Here's the agenda, bullet point 1, bullet point 2, bullet point 37. Blah, blah. Don't do it. Do not do it, regardless of how technical your presentation is. There is your obligation. You talk about the energy. You have to relate to the content. Why does it matter? It doesn't all matter equally. You don't have to love every single bullet point or slide, but keep in mind, you got to love something. And the money is not a reason. I'm going to close this deal is not a reason. I'm going to be number one on my sales team ain't a reason. There's something that you prepared. There's something that you found, whether the satisfaction of knowing, hey, look, you gave me a lot of requests. I did my homework. I thought you would like to know this because, honest to God, this is something that made me surprised, happy, elated, whatever the case may be. Again, you don't have to articulate all those words, but you got to feel something. You got to feel something, okay? That's what's so important is it's that feeling. You got to go find the feeling in the material. So first off, again, remember, you are connecting yourself emotionally to the audience. That could be the gratitude part. You to the content. If you don't feel emotionally invested, how can you expect them? How could you expect it? There's no chance. If it's literally, here's my research, here's my qualitative data, here's my comps in terms of the neighborhood, here's my statistics, here's the trends, here's the you won't, you can't. There has to be a reason. It can't be manufactured or forced. There must be something that satisfied you about what you're presenting. And again, remember, it's not the selfish for me. If you're coming from a place of contribution, it's so much easier to be naturally engaged. And when you are, that's where the energy comes from. Okay? So again, remember, find something. We talked endlessly about knowing the story so that you can tell the story. Well, part of this is for you. Because if you're bored literally reading stuff out loud, they're going to hear it in your voice. They're going to feel it in your energy. The energy is going to get sucked out of a room and you're going to lose the opportunity. Sometimes it's literally as simple as just creating a situation in your mind as to how not just being connected to the client or clients or audience, but also somehow to that material, all right? Which leads us to, sorry about that, which leads us to point 3, your third tip of the day. And actually, it's your fourth when you think about it. It's you needing to help the audience find the moment. And here's an example of what not to do. Okay. Isn't that great? Isn't that exciting? I thought it was great. Don't make somebody feel stupid. It's up to you to naturally connect the client's audience to the content. And it is not to force the hand and make them feel weird if they don't feel it. Don't you feel good about that? No, don't. I've heard people do that. It is so gratuitous and self-serving that you literally have me mentally, in my mind, checking out. Anyone be a part of a presentation where one of your team members pulled that? Well, I thought it was exciting. I thought this was great. No, you didn't think? How uncomfortable does it make you feel when you're a part of that? I get almost like creepy uncomfortable. So you want a workaround? You want a real workaround? Here's what you do. And by the way, you will sound it. The satisfaction that comes from realizing that you help somebody do something, say something, feel something, realize something. Here's how. All of the preparation that we talk about constantly, being fully prepared, double, triple, quadruple checking. I should hold up 4 fingers, right? For quadruple checking. Am I bringing the right stuff to you? Is that what you were looking for from me prior to the meeting, not during, right? Prior to the meeting, sales call, whatever. That endless checking, double checking, you think it's weird, you're going to put off the client. You won't. You won't. There's such a strong level of satisfaction from either the client or the audience side when they realize you're actually talking to them. So what happens when you naturally connect? For instance, it could literally be, I love that we've worked on this. When you told me, for instance, that you were worried about eroding revenue or worried about the fact that you were going to lose inventory, I feel great about the fact that here's a proposed solution, or here's what I saw that made me feel good in regards to sharing this with you. So here's what goes on. That's sort of helping the audience, the advertiser, realize that this is where it should matter. I'm going to give you a second example. So this just occurred literally a week ago. Somebody who I am a massive fan of, love this person, gave a presentation, and they used the words in a very, I'm going to say, a fairly technical presentation to an audience that understands the tech, but there's a lot of new stuff that was being thrown around, right? So I could still remember when they said at one point during, they were going through their presentation, and I remember they said, oh, and folks, to me, this was the money slide. I'm like, oh. So I get excited because okay, so I should be following this. Here's what you can also do, especially if there's a lot of data. You think it's the money slide? Why? Just had a fun conversation just today earlier. There was like the real, well, and I'll answer and I'll just make up the hypothetical. Well, I saw this as the money slide because here's 2 or 3 things. If you remember nothing else today, here's the reason what I thought. And then I'll give my own examples, right? So if you remember nothing else, you would just realize it's up to you to connect to the audience. That's your responsibility. It's up to you to connect to the content you're presenting. You need to be naturally connected. And number 3, it's up to you to make sure that you help the audience and or client get connected. Don't throw it out there for them. Ta-da. Don't, because people sometimes won't do the work. It either looks too hard, or it is too hard, or they're just not interested. So when you keep helping people, your energy is bound to improve. Your energy is bound to be more natural, because that sense of helping somebody, the realization that you actually are helping somebody, help them understand, if nothing more. Help them understand, help them to relate, help them to feel included. Not even worried about closing deals. It's going to happen organically because now they're in. They're in and they realize they should be in. So all of that is to say, you say something like this is big, go one step further and give a real 2 or 3 bullet point at most, 2 or 3 thoughts at most, why it's big, why you should think it's big, not why I think it's big, but why you do. So when you do, there's a natural sense of buildup and excitement and the energy starts to flow, right? So those to me would be the 3 things that you could do today. You got a late day phone call, you got a late day Zoom meeting, you want to sound, be, and convey a natural sense of energy. Remember, it's up to you to connect to that person somehow. Before the call, realize it. Go all in. Make it a little bit personal without turning it into a you thing. Make sure that you have a vested interest in regards to the content or whatever it is you're sharing. An idea, a collaboration, a proposal, whatever, a real estate listing, whatever it happens to be. What connects you to this? And then number 3, throw that lifeline out. Build better choice of words. Build the bridge that helps them so that they don't feel like they have to walk endlessly to get to this place. Show them the bridge. Give them a natural path that they can cross. And so with the understanding of why you think this should matter to them without sing-songingly, condescendingly telling them why it should matter. But just make sure that they're there for the ride too. When you do those 3 things, here's the good news. Your energy follows you, right? And so sounding energized is tough because people can feel the inauthenticity. Let's try that again. People can feel the inaccuracies and the falseness of it. When you are energized, you're energized because typically, again, I'm connecting to you this afternoon. I'm thrilled that you showed up for me. I've never done, by the way, a late day conversation, and I love the results of this so far. So that means a ton to me. I think it's great. And I'm grateful for the fact that I realized that in the conversations that I've had today before coming on this call, how important it is that I know that what we're covering here matters because people get knocked back by it. Your 4 o'clock meeting, your 5 o'clock, whatever, conference call, whether it's with your client, with your bosses, with your team, you never want to sound like you're phoning it in. People feel that too, right? And then that sense of really helping somebody, build that bridge, build that path to make it easy for them to see why they should care and it should be true and real, which then makes you sound true and real. Your energy naturally follows along. And you'd be amazed at how consistent you can remain during the course of a series of calls a day, every single time when you use those 3 tips. Now, how about that, huh? The whole purpose and point of this is 3 takeaways that you could use immediately to improve your results. And I'm going to take it one step further, okay? We don't like to bludgeon people. I love keeping these under 30 minutes because then again, you get your day back and you get to use practical tips that you can literally articulate. 2 things. Number 1, if you need me for anything specific, how I can better serve you, right? I offer a free discovery call. What does that call include? How I work, the way that I work, the systems that I teach, and how I customize them to the individual. I coach individuals, I coach groups, I coach teams. Individual, as I said, and company level too. It's my strength. So the best way to get to me, I'm putting up a handy dandy QR code, right? So to me, I say, find me easily. Snap that QR code and you'll get to my website. When you do, it's simply a matter of contacting me. I'm going to make it even easier for you right now, by the way. I shouldn't be typing, but I am. And in the comments, you are seeing my email address, which is jd@duffinmedia.com. I am really grateful that you showed up for me today. I really am. Hope you had some fun too. You showed it by your enthusiasm by being here with me. It means the world to me. So take away those 3 tips. I am coming back one more time in this first season of JD's KILLA Conversations. I'll be back one more time and we'll continue to have fun. So look out for the announcement. I look forward to sharing it with you. And again, when you need me to either personalize it, get an opportunity to work with me on an individual, group, company, or team level, click that QR code and you'll get to my website. And even if that feels hard, take one last easy step, which is jd@duffinmedia.com. You get my energy, you get my support, you get my compassion, and hopefully too, after you utilize these, you get my results. You get out your results, which help you optimize your communications by leveraging your voice so that you'll optimize your life. Thanks so much for showing up for me today. Have a fantastic rest of the day, and we will catch up soon. All right, be well. Bye.